Hi Barleys, Marvin here from TechBroll.com, where we do unboxings, reviews, and sexy B-rolls. And today we have another entry-level smartphone to review as we take a look at the new Huawei Y6p. We're going to take a look at the improving Huawei AppGallery, gaming performance, and of course, camera quality. And we'll see if this 5,990 pesos smartphone is worth your hard-earned money. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright guys, so right here we have the packaging for the Huawei Y6p. And as you can see, Huawei is really pushing their app gallery, which is currently the third biggest app store globally. And later we'll see what else was added since I last checked it out on my review of the Huawei Y7p. The variant that we have right here is the Midnight Black variant with 64GB of storage and 4GB of RAM. Alright, so inside the box, the first thing that will greet you is the Huawei Y6p itself. Let me just place it aside for a moment. And then we have another box here that doesn't have anything other than the SIM ejector pin. I was hoping we'll get a free jelly case with this, but maybe on the retail package. Anyway, we also have inside the box a standard 10W power brick, a micro USB charging cable, unfortunately not yet USB Type-C, but at least we have an included earphone here, which is quite rare nowadays. And that's about it for the unboxing of the Huawei Y6p. Now, here's the new Huawei Y6p smartphone. With a 6.3-inch display and with a screen-to-body ratio of only around 88.4%, the bezels around the screen is quite thick as you can see here. It also features the so-called dewdrop design, which is essentially a small water drop shaped cutout on the center to make way for the selfie camera. Above that, we have the earpiece, and it looks like we also have a pre-applied screen protector, which is really nice. Now, flipping the phone on the top side, we have a microphone here. And then on the bottom side, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, another microphone, the rather dated micro USB port, and a single downward firing speaker. Now, flipping it on the left side, we have the dual nano SIM card tray with a micro SD card slot. And then on the other side, we have the power button and the volume rocker. And I actually appreciate this design, having all the buttons on one side, so that you can easily reach them with your thumb and that you can place the phone sideways without accidentally pressing any button. Now, turning the phone all over at the back, we have the triple camera setup that features a 13MP main shooter, a 5MP wide-angle lens, and a 2MP depth sensor. Now, that might not be a lot for today's standard, but later we'll see the quality of these cameras. Aside from the camera, we have a small flash, a fingerprint reader, and a Huawei logo on the lower left corner. Now, the back of the Huawei Y6p looks like glass, but as per close inspection, it seems to be plastic. However, they did a good job making it look premium than it actually is. The only downside is that it is extremely fingerprint magnet as you can see here. But we cannot deny the fact that this one looks gorgeous when clean, and I specifically like this Midnight Black variant right here. In addition, the sides of the phone have this nice matte finish to go along with the entire Midnight Black theme it has going on. Overall, in terms of the design and construction, except for the thick bezels, the Huawei Y6p has a pretty good stealthy design with this Midnight Black variant. Other available variants, by the way, includes the Phantom Purple and the Emerald Green. Let me know in the comments below what you'll pick among these options. Now, let's talk about the user interface. The Huawei Y6p features the EMUI version 10.1, which is based on Android 10, and although it has a quite dated processor with the Helio P22, the experience browsing the user interface is fairly smooth. Now, we don't have an app drawer as you can see here, so all our apps will be located on the available home screens. The icons are okay, not too obnoxious with a rounded square shape, and with decent icon design as well. Now, this might be subjective if you will like it or not, but we also have some apps or at least a preview of the apps that is available for download as you can see here, so that you can have an idea of what applications are available from the Huawei App Gallery right from these folders. Personally, I appreciate this and I feel like it is one of their methods to show their commitment to improving the availability of the apps. Granted, it may look like they are bloatware, but they are simply shortcuts for download. Now, like with any other Huawei phones, we also have some useful pre-installed apps here, like the Tips app that has some useful guides on how to use this phone, and the Support app in any case that you need them. Overall, in terms of the user interface, I feel like it is subjective. I personally prefer an experience closer to stock Android, but others prefer this eye candy skin with colorful icons, so there's that. Now, let's check out the Huawei App Gallery so that you can have an idea what apps are available to you out of the box. Most of the apps that they are focusing on pushing inside the app gallery is with regards to the most popular apps that we typically use on a daily basis like Lazada, Shopee, Foodpanda, GCash, Paymaya, BDO, Viber, and entertainment apps such as Viu, Kumu, and of course, none other than TikTok. We also have some casual games like Plants vs Zombies, Candy Crush, and other top apps inside the Huawei App Gallery. Now, I understand that not all apps are already available in the Huawei App Gallery, but as far as I can tell, there are a lot of new apps added here already from when I last visited this app gallery. So yeah. And there are actually other temporary options like using the browser to get other applications and access other platforms such as YouTube and whatnot. And lastly, when it comes to Huawei App Gallery, we also have the usual unique features such as add to wishlist and reward system. Now, before we move on to display quality, sound, gaming performance, battery life, and camera quality, let's tackle real quick the specifications of the Huawei Y6p. The Huawei Y6p, like I said earlier, is powered with a MediaTek Helio P22 processor with a PowerVR GE8320 GPU and has a 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. It also has a quite substantial 5000 mAh of battery and features a triple camera setup that we're going to test later. I'll pop the complete specifications on the screen so that you can check it out. Now, in terms of the display, with a 6.3 inches screen, an HD plus resolution of 1600 by 720 with a pixel density of 278 ppi and a screen-to-body ratio of only around 88.4%, it is quite decent but nothing to write home about. It should suffice casual media consumption and gaming with decent viewing angles, colors, contrast, and sharpness, but it lacks that crispiness of a 1080p resolution. But of course, at the end of the day, you just have to align your expectations with your budget. As for the single downward firing speakers, it is surprisingly loud at maximum volume, but at that point, it's kinda distorted. But at least if you want to fill a small room, it is quite capable for that, and you also have a headphone jack and an included earphone if you need them. It has a fair bit of low end with enough details on the mids and highs, so I'd say overall, the single speaker on the Huawei Y6p is pretty decent. Now, speaking of media consumption in terms of battery life when using this phone for watching videos, at maximum brightness and maximum volume with earphones plugged in on a video loop test, the Huawei Y6p was able to last 12 hours and 12 minutes, and charging it using the included 10-watt charger from 10% to 100% took about 2 hours and 17 minutes. Moving on to gaming performance, in Asphalt 9, of course, one of our standard testings when it comes to mobile gaming, the game out of the box is set to default settings, and surprisingly enough, it was smooth for the most part, and with a relatively dated MediaTek Helio P22, I was expecting more stuttering than I experienced, so yeah, Asphalt 9 is certainly playable using the Huawei Y6p. Now, in Call of Duty Mobile, the game was set automatically to low graphics quality setting and in medium frame rate, and as per my testing, it was also playable. However, of course, the image quality is not the best, but if you simply just want to destroy enemies, well, you can do that with the Huawei Y6p. Now, when it comes to PUBG, which is a popular battle royale game for both PC and mobile, the game settings were automatically set to smooth and medium frame rate, and as per my testing, since the graphics quality is set to low, PUBG Mobile is also playable on the Huawei Y6p. And lastly, in Mobile Legends, the game was automatically set to high and in high definition mode, which is awesome, but HFR mode is disabled by default. As per my experience, even with HFR mode enabled, the gaming experience is also relatively smooth even during clashes, so yeah, the entry-level Huawei Y6p is definitely capable in Mobile Legends even on high settings and HFR mode enabled. Now, as you can see on these games that we've tested, you just have to tweak the settings a little bit to balance between the image quality and performance, but for most of the games that we've tried, the settings were automatically set to the lowest settings to provide you with a better gaming experience in expense of image quality. Alright guys, let's move on to our last testing, which is camera quality. The photos from the Huawei Y6p are, I'd say, expected for an entry-level smartphone, especially with a 13-megapixel main shooter, a 5-megapixel wide-angle lens, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. The images show too much contrast and kinda crushing the shadows on ultra-wide and 1x, but are decent enough on 2x with good balance when it comes to exposure and details, and the HDR mode actually works for balancing out the shadows and highlights, and the difference is quite dramatic as you can see here. Now, the front-facing camera features beauty mode, and this is how the images look like in different amounts of beautification. As for the quality of the photos of the front-facing camera, I'd say it is usable with proper lighting. And lastly, for video, I'd say the footage coming out from the Huawei Y6p's back camera is usable, but it is automatically set to 720p, which is actually what's being recommended by the camera app. So yeah, this is what you'll get for the back camera. As for the front-facing selfie camera for video, it is decent but kinda over-sharpened. Overall, in terms of the camera quality, in my opinion, for an entry-level smartphone like this, the image quality is somehow expected, given the specifications of the cameras. But yeah, it is still usable especially with proper lighting, but definitely not the best when it comes to low light and extreme situations. Alright guys, so to conclude, For the price of around 5,990 pesos, the Huawei Y6p looks and feel more than its price, with a nice looking design and is also quite capable for gaming, albeit in low settings, and with a pretty substantial 5,000 mAh of battery, it should last you the whole day without charging. Now in terms of applications, the Huawei AppGallery is continuously being populated with our most frequently used and important apps, and there are also other ways to access your applications if necessary. The display quality is subpar with a relatively low resolution and pixel density, but I guess that's to be expected for the price. Other than that, it's still up to you to decide if the design, specifications, and apps availability are sufficient enough for your needs in relation to your budget. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to check the full article link below. The Huawei Y6p will be available for pre-orders starting May 22 to May 31, and you'll have a chance to get free gifts worth 3,180 pesos, including a Bluetooth headset. I'll put a link below so that you can check it out. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you like this, and see you next time. Have a great day guys. You're awesome.